So today we're going to talk about behind the veil. I hope that you're all doing okay. I know, times are settling, but still a little chaotic. Don't freak out. The best thing for you to do is just stay calm. We are going through what Fanny likes to say, growing changes, growing
A
pains.
shift, a true shift, and that hurts.
Exactly. It always hurts whenever we are going through changes. Some things you have to let go of, some things you have to leave behind, and more things that you have to gain in the process. It's all about what you really want. That's what this entire universe is asking you. What do you want? What do you want? Because it's coming for you now. Okay? Now, everyone is just trying to put the pieces together as far as what's going on in this world and why we have so much going on. So we decided to come together and just tell you a little bit about what we have perceived so that we can pass on the knowledge to you. Take it as you will, but take it as a form of perception. It's just another piece to your puzzle. It's not the final answer. It might not even be something that you agree with. We don't care. We just want to enlighten you, okay? So we're going to talk about what goes on behind the scenes. Now, we are all metaphysical, interconnected beings. We are beautiful. We are powerful. We have just forgotten. Like, we have quite literally forgotten for so many ages how powerful we are. That's why we have so much anger going on in this world. Because we know that we deserve better. Because we know that we are more.
Do you think it was an accident that we've forgotten? Like it just kind of happened? Like it was like a gradual process that we just forgot?
No, I don't think it was an accident by any means. It never is an accident. Something happened, guys. We decided to get distracted and fight for the wrong things, as in fight for the things that we know we are not truly meant to fight for. Let's think about the people who are incentivized to join the military. That goes on all around the world. Join the military, you'll get this, this, and this. Great. But whose battle are we fighting? Some people say that we're fighting for freedom. Whose freedom? What kind of freedom are we going through? We have been mentally conditioned throughout our entire lives. What does freedom mean to you? Really, think about it. Sit down. What does that mean?
Personal freedom. Personal freedom, not somebody else's idea. Personal.
Exactly. Personal freedom. Now, we need to understand that when we sign ourselves up for these things, I'm not saying that our country's military is bad by any means. I'm simply saying that we fight for things that we think is a good idea, but does it feel like your kind of battle? We're not choosing the battles that we really want to. Whenever people talk about, going into a relationship and having to choose your battle, you're really trying to figure out what it is that you should be fighting for and within this relationship. How is your life any different? How is your society any different? As above and so below, everything is connected. You need to understand what you're fighting for. So, whose battle are we fighting?
Good question.
Okay, let's move on to these societal spiritual groups.
Societal spiritual groups.
So, when we say societal spiritual groups, we really mean the more prominent forms of spirituality that there are out there. And there's kind of a problem with it. It's not all bad, by the way. It is great. It has plenty of wonderful intentions. It is important for you to believe in something, important for you to have faith. But my question is, why is it so common to have faith in something that you fear so much? Why would you follow something that makes you afraid? Why are we afraid of the very things that would happen to us if
And why is this fear instilled? Pretty much at birth. It's chosen. Your societal spiritual group is pretty much generally chosen, right? By family.
it is chosen by a lot of people except for yourself?
Before you're even born.
No, seriously.
Like you're born into a group for the most part. I mean, this is just a generalization, but it was a win for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was born into religion.
It happened to me as well, and I decided to choose my own spirituality along the way. And when I decided to choose for myself, that is when everyone around me had shunned me because they thought that I was going in the dark, the evil path.
The wrong direction.
The wrong direction because
The
it wasn't
path of
what
the shadow.
other people thought should have been. That's crazy.
And it's
We
crazy.
live in an entire society that not only inhibits fear by what you believe in, but shuns everyone else who doesn't believe in what you do because you think that it's dark, that it's strange, that it's evil. Who told you that? How did you figure that out within yourself that that which you believe in, that which someone else might believe in, could be wrong because you don't understand it? I'm sorry. How much research have we delving into in this world? There is so much to learn about.
And the societal spiritual groups absolutely do not encourage diving into anything except for a very, very shallow, small pool. And if you go outside that pool, then yes, it is like a big no-no. Like, it's not encouraged to dive. You're not allowed to dive.
You're right.
Because then you start asking questions.
What's wrong with questions, guys? We should be asking more questions. Think about the cultures within our own world as far as spirituality is concerned. In the West Coast, everyone, not the West Coast, but like the West side of the world, we have a spiritual system that relies strictly on giving yourself to something and allowing that to just flow within you your entire life. You're going with the flow, but how much control do you really have over yourself if you're just giving yourself away? All right? Let's think about the Eastern cultures. Not all Eastern cultures are like this, just like not all Western cultures are like this. But in a lot of Eastern cultures, like Hinduism, for example, they have a certain acceptance of what goes on and who they believe in. Now, just because they believe in something doesn't mean that they worship it. And the way that they seek to reach their own stages of enlightenment, karma, dharma, nirvana, these words that we are very, very, very familiar with in this time, we are just not really going with their kind of flow. And the Eastern cultures, such as Hinduism, like to practice meditation, exercise, getting your mind right, really working for this sense of being that which you really want, training your mind, your body, your emotions. It is based around working for the things that you really want and allowing that to flow within. Also being the mediators, but having a complete balance with, having a sense of humility, surrendering yourself and working for that as well. We can't just fully surrender ourselves. We can't just fully have light. We are dark as well. We are interconnected metaphysical beings. That basically means that we are part of multiple different realms. So we need to start asking more questions, externally as well as internally. We need to start figuring out who we are. We need to start understanding where these battles are coming from and what we really need to fight for. We need to remember, in this society, we are conditioned to antagonize, to demonize, and to forget. That which we don't understand, we will place in a dark area, and that is it, because it's going to harm us. It's not really going to. We are light and dark. That which we have never taken the time out to truly understand is just shunned. We don't need to do that. Not by any means. I know, right?
It was such a loud truck.
And we've forgotten who we are. So many people are angry in this world simply because we have forgotten what it is that we're supposed to be standing for. Now, think about Bob Marley and what his messages stand for. Buffalo Soldier, for example, you need to know your history so you can know where you're coming from. So you wouldn't have to ask me, someone else, who you are. You need to figure out who you are by understanding your history. We come from a past, a powerful past of being the beings that we know that we are. We've just forgotten that. And how have we forgotten that? We were distracted, fighting someone else's war. Think about the Egyptian times, the Roman times, the Greek, Mesopotamian, all of these ancient civilizations Oh my gosh, Atlantis. All of these ancient civilizations are beautiful, they're powerful, they're profound. But what happened? What happened to them all? Well, the Romans went on and created this. This is where we
pretty
are.
much this, yeah.
Yeah.
And say they pretty much got punished for not worshiping someone else as God.
Mesopotamia's
Of
gone. Egypt's gone. Atlanta destroyed.
Atlantis is, yeah, destroyed. No. Aztecs. That was a
The
weird
Aztecs as well.
Freudian
The
slip.
Aztecs, the Mayans. Now, there's a continuous cycle with all of these ancient civilizations. And that is that they all start out very powerful because they have their own foundation. In due time, people get brought from different realms. Yeah, we're going to take this a little historic. Is that the word?
Esoteric.
Esoteric.
Ooh, let's get esoteric with
Yeah,
it.
we're going to take this a little esoteric and say back in the days, we were once very powerful. And some of these powerful beings didn't belong in this realm in particular. What if they were called? What if they were called to fight someone else's battle? What if they were called because it sounded like a cry for help? They came, got distracted with so many shenanigans, so much chaos going on in this world. People pick and chose their battles, but they forgot what they were really fighting for.
Absolutely forgot. Everybody's forgotten.
Everyone's forgotten. Now, this is a repeated cycle. It happens time and time and time again. That is why right now, where there is a lot of awakening going on, and we have a lot of chaos as well, a lot of growing pains as well. People are trying to figure out what to fight for. What is the next thing to fight for? Well, what do you want to fight for? Who are you really? Where do you come from? What is your history? What is your future that you plan on creating?
Good question.
Fanny, what kind of solutions do we have out here?
What kind of solutions do we have? I think it goes back to it started with distractions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somehow we started thinking the wrong thing, started thinking about other things. And it's just led to this whole thing. And I think that we have to, as a good way to start, just start an awakening, an enlightenment. You're here, like maybe, you want to know what's next. What is next? Think about what you're taking in, what is playing in the background while you're cleaning your house or surfing the internet or whatever it is you're doing. What are you just listening to and taking in? The news, commercials. What do commercials say? Commercials only say you lack. You lack everything. Like whatever we're trying to sell, you don't have it. Your life is terrible. You need this. Buy it. You have to work to pay for it. And it just is keeping this entire cycle of us just in 40 hours, buying, listening, and not thinking about what we want, what we need to do together as the collective as a whole. Like, because nothing is working out here right now. And I think by turning off TV, whatever is distracting you from listening to yourself in here, that quiet voice, that scary one that starts telling like little truths that you don't like, so you turn on the radio louder, or you put the TV on in the background, and you just don't even pay attention because you don't want to hear that little voice. It's like, hey, things aren't right. Things are not right. They're just not. We all know it. It's really scary to think about, and nothing around here is right, but it's fixable.
One thing that really drives me crazy, when you turn on the radio and you hear the same songs go over and over and over and over and over again, and they all say the same thing. All of them.
All of them.
Let's go buy this. Let's go have this.
This brand
Let's go
shoes,
do this with this person.
Car, everything. And it's always a lack.
A lack.
A lack. It's a lack.
And it sets a certain boundary on you as well, as far as what you should be focusing on, what you should be doing, how you should be viewing other people, and what you want in your life. Some people in those songs, they just want to have sex all the time. Some people just want to do drugs. Some people just want to have all the money. How are we going to get the money? We're going to get the drugs. Wait, hold on. And it's a continuous process. It's a continuous cycle of that just going on throughout the day. And I listen to the radio a whole lot. It's all the same thing. Now, why would we be listening to these same songs every day, all day, every day? What kind of conditioning is going on in here?
I think a lot of subliminal conditioning is going on with music. The message that, I mean, you know, the music that young, I don't want to sound like auntie, like your music these days, kids. But I mean, like, it really is. It really, the popular music, the core of it is you don't have enough money. You don't have enough. You just don't have enough of anything. And these people are having a whole lot of fun, right? And it's just, it's, the kids are listening to it. And then we're just growing up. We start from the get. We don't have, it goes back to our societal spiritual group. You don't have cleanliness. You're born filthy. And I mean, we're born from the that it starts from there, and we're told that the problems inside of us, and we can never be good because we have to, have religion, have a God that's going to save us, act right, and they use the music, they use the shows we watch, they use everything, and it just plays all the time, and nobody even pays attention. We're literally just acting it all out right now, literally acting it out in the world right now. It's like a movie when you turn on the news. Mm-hmm. Don't turn on the news. Are we allowed to say bad words?
No.
FCNN. How about that? FCNN, Fox News, turn off the TV, turn off the news.
You know what all this kind of reminds me of? That book 1984, where in the beginning of the story, everyone goes to work and, right as they're about to start their whole day, like the TV screen turns on and it's like, oh yes, be very patriotic. And in order to convince their people to be patriotic, they have to get them emotionally stimulated. They're so angry, they're infuriated at the country's enemies. They're like, oh man, we don't like you guys. And the next thing you know, in the next screen, it's like, oh, but no worries. Big Brother's here to shine the light on you. We are here for you. We will rise you up and give you everything you need and give you newspeak as well. If you guys don't know what newspeak is, newspeak is the evolution of words being just downsized and downsized and downsized in order to condition the mind to have less vocabulary, less ideas inside of their mind. Less ideas. Think about words that we already have in this world that makes us crazy. Conspiracy. People hate that word. Oh, it's just
don't say that.
Mm-hmm. It's a myth. Why would you want to indulge yourself in that kind of stuff? Conspiracy. Another one, my favorite, witch. Witch is so bad.
It's such an insult.
Evil. Witch. They just put curses on people. They have black magic. They're just here to destroy this earth. If you haven't seen my last blog, if you haven't read it, you can understand what it is like through a witch's perspective. And if you were to really learn about what witches were like, you would know that there's so much more for you to understand.
So much.
Now, what if we got together and decided to choose a different battle? Not only for ourselves internally, but also for other people. What if all the anger and frustration we have right now, instead of sticking to these emotional eruptions and reactions, we can find solutions? We've got world hunger, and apparently no one can seem to figure out how to solve it.
But then you turn on the news and it's like, oh, we just threw away 500, million tons of dairy milk, and then they're constantly throwing away food. Like, I mean, you've worked in enough restaurants and grocery stores, and all the food we're throwing away, and then you're like, oh, the poor hungry people in the world. Yeah, we're not. Dang, the system. This system is allowing for that to continue.
Exactly. Now, what we need to do on an individual basis is start helping our community get together. We all really want the same thing. We want a better society. How are we going to do that? Get in touch with people. What do we really want? What are our true solutions? How are we going to go about getting there? And we need to implement this stuff. We need to remember our history and our power. You are all so powerful. You're beautiful. You are metaphysical. You are interconnected. You have so much for you. You just have to start listening to yourself. You have so much aid around you. Everyone is waking up at this time. Everyone. And the best thing for us to do is get together. Okay? Get together. Remember who you came from. Remember what you were supposed to be fighting for. And if you can't remember, create it. What do you want to fight for now? Who do you want to be? How strong do you want to be? How bold and courageous and rebellious do you want to be? We're not here trying to start any riots. We are not trying to start a rebellion. We just want you to know that there's so much more out there for you. And don't be afraid of the dark. We have lived for too long to understand that it exists, whether or not we believe in it. It's there. Why is it always there in a corner? Because it's waiting for us to pay attention. It's not all bad. Not all dark is bad. Not all light is good.
How can you have one without the other?
How can you
I
have
mean, you
one
really
without the
can't
other?
have one without the other because you need the contrast.
Exactly.
And we have all, especially if you're a little bit more like new age, love and light, sending good vibes. I think if we all just took that light that we know that we have and we're like shined it into the dark, scary caverns here, knowing that we had our lights, really take a peek, really take a peek into that darkness. It's not so scary. Kind of fun. I was scared of it for a long time. It's really fun, actually. And you learn a lot about yourself.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to your community, those people that your knee-jerk reaction is like, those people just rub you the wrong way. You don't like them. They're wrong. How dare they think or feel how they do, and it offends you or upsets you. Or stop for a minute and then hold up a mirror and find those traits in yourself. And if you have the guts to admit that you have those traits that you just can't stand, that's shadow work. That's boring, dry shadow work. And when you can admit that you have those tendencies, that you just look at someone and just, oh, that's enlightenment right there. That's shadow work.
I like
That's taking that light and going within and being like, I can be a douchebag too.
that.
And that's okay.
We take so many different pieces of enlightenment from different cultures that we don't really understand what that means. Think of the yin yang sign, for example. Everyone likes to wear it on their jewelry, get the tattoos and whatnot. Yin yang, everything deserves a balance, but not that dark thing over there. No, that is quite the epitome of the yin yang sign. Light and dark, we truly are, and we are so much more once you get past that level.
Oh yeah. It's so exciting. It's so worth it. It's scary. It's weak. It's worth it.
It is worth it. So never be afraid of yourself. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And understand, guys, remember, choose your battle. We need to understand what we're fighting for and why we're doing it these days. These battles that are going on in this current lifetime, in this current season.
Like today, basically, yeah, like those battles right now.
Exactly. Are we fighting the right battle?
Is it our fight?
Is it our
Why are we fighting right now for that? Like, are we fighting the right people? I think that's what we ask. Are we really fighting? Because right now we're fighting each other. We have been divided by design. And now we're fighting each other.
Yes, and what's the best way to take over an entire civilization? Divide and conquer. This is just the first few steps. You need to be mindful that there is so much more going on. You need to wake up and pay attention. Know who you are.
I like that. That's a good one. That's a good way to end it. I like that.
All right, so you guys have a blessed evening. We're so happy to have you, and just enjoy your life. Really follow your heart, follow your mind, follow your soul, your spirit, your essence is beautiful. Beautiful. You are beautiful. Okay. Have a beautiful night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fanny. Again,
Thank you,
I'm
everybody.
Noni Knight,
I'm Fanny Fluorite.
and you'll be seeing us